Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, and it is the third part of Connected Hearts. Today I will continue the walkthrough and the review of this visual novel. It begins to be less boring, but I'm not sure. So we stopped here. We met a doll who told us a lot of crap, a lot of useless information about a king who will help us, or probably he won't help us because he doesn't like people. Nothing happens. Then a swell of This review starts with my most lovely, I don't know how to say it, with my saliva. Then a swallow of saliva feeling is particularly bitter. Hi, how are you? Just saying that was incredibly hard. I expected them to turn to me at any moment and say something, even being seen as an invader. However, none of those things happened. The only thing there is silence. Hello? I said louder, finding the same result. Quickly my fear dies, being replaced by frustration and anxiety. They really can't see me, right? I murmured with a low voice and annoyance. Then I think about touching one of them. I extend my hand to the closer kid, who calmly plays with the sand. My fingers get closer slowly, expecting to feel a cold material. However, I stop before touching it. I'm not brave enough to do it. It's better for me to leave things as they are for now. I thought again before looking around. I didn't realize before, but at the distance there is a golden and white castle in the highest part of the city. Oh yeah, I can imagine it, but I can't see it on my computer. I see the park one last time, convincing myself that nothing good would come out of staying more time here, and then begin my travel to the castle at the distance. Looks very picturesque. Movie results much easier than expected. There is a road with yellow stairs and that lead to the castle. Impossible to miss them. Yellow? It's grey. The way is unspeakably long. However, no matter how much time passes or how many steps I go up, I never feel tired. I'm not thirsty, not swear under the sun. I'm always relaxed and full of energy at last physically. My mind, on the other side, is an incomprehensible chaos. As I ascend, I voice the inhabitants of the place. The children sign around without end, recognized only by their smaller size. Adults, meanwhile, work hanging clothes on the roof, cleaning the streets or building from which smoke comes out. Those are the typical things one would imagine for a town. However, far from seeming normal, I see them as disturbing. The sounds are so irritating. The sounds of steps. It's They feel too artificial. There is no life in them. They don't do it with a purpose or because they like it. It's not like they are puppets forced to represent the everyday life of an imaginary town without a single touch of reality in it. In other words, everything is painfully fake. The children aren't having fun, the adults don't need to work or wear clothes. In the streets we're dirty, no one would care. It's a simple lie. Not only that, but there is another... I'm sorry. Not only that, but there is another detail that makes it even more uncomfortable. The city they live is almost ruined. Many of the buildings have fallen down, and those still standing are full with cracks. It seems the city has been a long time without proper maintenance, letting the buildings to age until they crumble in pieces, and they don't seem to care in the slightest. Not even that. Simply, there isn't a problem in the artificial minds. I felt my heart turning heavy as it need. Then shake my head to forget about it and pat my side to the front. I still have many steps to go up, hundreds of them more. I just try to look to the front without paying attention to them. At At least what the masked doll said before seems to be true. They can't see me. By the time I finally reached the castle, the sun was setting. In the entrance there is a pair of guardians with long spears. They are just for show. It's impossible any of the puppets would try to enter. They have no will of their own. And in my case they simply can't see me, so it would be the same as if they weren't there. I doubt for a moment, looking at them deeply to confirm this supposition. I still myself and manage to touch the mask of one of them. Nothing happens, it doesn't tremble or even act confused. The guard remains still as a statue. I sigh and then decide to keep going forward. At the entrance there is a red carpet with golden edges. As I walk through the hallway, I see numerous paintings, sculptures and vases, along many types of furniture. For sure, they must have been very beautiful. I'm talking in the past because in present day they are ruined. I mean, it was not drawn by someone. I think it was just a standard case of backgrounds in the visual novel creator or visual novel maker. I don't think it was drawn for this novel. Many of them are broken, worn down and colorless. It's as if the whole city had countless years abandoned. It slowly turns to dust without anyone noticing. Something else that calls my attention is that there are no doors. With the exception of the entrance and the hallway, I don't see any clue of being other rooms in the castle. It has a huge size and they use only a small part of it. I shake my head not knowing what to think about it. Anyway, the king shouldn't be far. I continue walking until I find before another big door, along with a pair of useless guards that completely ignore me. This time I don't stop to watch them. I just ignore them back and keep moving forward as I remember what the masked doll said to me. The king is the only one who can see me and the only one who can help me. Or not, but that doesn't mean he will. There is the chance he will be disgraced by my presence. But that I can't know until I talk with him. Finally I arrived to the throne room. A room very big with a second floor where dozens of puppets look down. I know they can't see me, they don't even move, so it would be more appropriate to say there isn't a life in them, they're just furniture. But knowing that dozens of masks with different expressions, all of them artificial, stare deeply at me, sends shivers to my spine. I gulp while my heart beats anxiously. There is not the time to dull. I'm just a few steps from my destination. I cross the red curtain that hangs between me and the throne, not knowing what to expect. In my mind, the image of different kings come to mind. An old man with long white beard, with plenty of wisdom, a puppet just like the others, just with a gold crown, or even an empty room, the king being nothing but a symbol. What I didn't imagine, however, was what I found. Exclaimed a young scared boy when he notices my presence. He's not a puppet, but a human just like me. He wears a red cloak and a cardboard golden crown, as if it was just a toy. More than a king, he seems someone who plays to be one, but that feels fitting for this world of farces. Who are you? How did you come to this place? I look at him but a couple of seconds before looking down. I don't know if I should kneel before a king or simply speak to him like any normal person. I don't know. Blah blah blah. Speak naturally. Of course, he may have the title of a king, but in reality is just a child. More than fitting the illusion of being a ruler, I should remember him that. My name is Gary. Honestly, I'm not very sure of how I came here. Even if it sounds ridiculous, I just woke up in this place. I speak as naturally as possible, being friendly more than anything else. The kid stares at me in silence for what seem endless seconds, with a face that said he doesn't know what to think of me. He isn't angry or happy at my presence, at least not completely. It's more like he's curious about me. Did someone else come with you? He asked me even presenting himself before. Seems he still had to learn manners, but I can't blame him. He has lived alone for as long as this fantasy kingdom existed. Answer! He then added impatient. I don't like the way he looks at me at all. My heart feels heavy noticing that something was wrong. No, I said reluctant. Before talking, you should present yourself. After all, I already told you my name. The kid makes a disgusted face after hearing my question. It wasn't the fact I asked his name what made him angry, but me demanding something from him. Henry the First, monarch of the Golden Sun. The kid presented himself, talking with so much pride it almost stinks. He then turns to see me with piercing eyes, waiting for some kind of praise from me. Now it's clear to me that he isn't a normal kid. He was brainwashed with the title of king. Then I remember something important. The masked doll told me he could help me. Henry, how did you end up in this place? Henry tilts his head, staring at me with annoyance. He intentionally waits me for speaking. With each second he makes me wait, my anxiety grows. Soon it becomes much heavier than what my shoulders are able to resist. Oh, how long? I just wanted him to talk, not so many. Do you want to stay trapped in this place? Just after saying that, my heart fills with regret. I look down, knowing it was a bad idea. Henry looks back at me, a face full of how boring. I instantly realize something is terribly bad. I created this place, and I'm the king. And to answer your question, no, I want to stay here forever. The look in his eyes become dead cold at this moment. What I see is an absolute rejection. Something wrong with his eyes. It is... I don't know. He looks at me as his enemy, I have no doubt of it. The real ones are not welcomed here. As the king, to maintain the peace of the kingdom, it's my job to eliminate you. Just after saying that, he claps a couple of times. The noise makes an echo inside my head. Then all suddenly I hear a mechanism move inside the castle. I can even imagine it, the gears moving something heavy. What I couldn't tell was what were they moving, and exactly a trap just below my feet. I have no time to react or even think when the floor below me opens, making me fall. The only thing I can do is scream from the bottom of my heart, desperate scares as I fall to dark pit which become darker and darker each second. I scream with no end, feeling every second an endless torment. My eyes are unable to see the bottom. Instead they see how the darkness surrounds me, captures me and engulfs me. I'm falling into the darkness. I literally should do not fall down a pit, but also a sea of darkness. It is endless fall. However, I am falling. I understand. To play this game, you should not think like a normal man. You should think like a not normal man. Skip. Kneel before him. Okay. I will try to be a good boy. Before my eyes, he's just a kid. However, something isn't right here. The way he looks at me is not proper for a child. Somehow it seems the illusion of being a ruler went up his head. Instead of looking at me as an equal or with respect to someone older, he looks down on me as if I was a pest. No matter how much I hate it, I should play along with him, at least for now. So I knew, slowly lowering my head with respect. My name is Henry. It's Gary. I'm sorry. My name is Gary. And well, actually, I'm not sure how I got there. It may sound ridiculous, but I simply woke up in this place. I speak as naturally as I can, being respectful more than flattering. The kid stares at me in silence for what seem endless seconds, with a face that says he doesn't know what to think of me. He isn't hungry. Did someone else come with you? Answer. Okay. No, I'm alone. Could the king present himself before the visitor? I say it such a way it seems to be an honor to learn his name, or at least that is my intention. I have no experience talking with the king. Henry I, monarch of the Golden Sun. Shouldn't present himself talking with so much pride. Okay, turns look at me. Okay, a beautiful title, my lord. I said to Wont, fallen silent. Now it is clear to me that he isn't a normal child. He was brainwashed with the title of a king. Then I remember something. Okay, King Henry, if you allow the question, do you know some way to leave this world? I don't wish to be a bother for too long. I feel disgust at my own behavior, but it doesn't look like I have other options. Yes, you had another option. I'm afraid he might order the puppets to take me if I make him angry. Every second that passes is too long. After hearing him, I can't help but think he needs a good spanking to correct his tone. But you are right. I do know the exit. There is a well-aware image of other worlds reflect. However, it is blocked. I ordered to be so that no reals can enter the kingdom of the sun. After saying that, Henry stares at me full of disdain, sharp as a blade. I don't know how you came here, but it seems it wasn't from there. I blinked confused, then I nodded in silence. No, I just woke up in the middle of a park. I don't know how I entered, but it wasn't by the well, that I can assure you. Well, it hasn't been precisely the nicest conversation, but I got to admit it was useful. At least, now I knew what I had to do to get out. Once again, I lower my head with respect. My king, I have a petition. If you could open to the well, so I can go back where I belong, that way I wouldn't bother you anymore. From my point of view, it is a very tempting offer, but since Henry isn't convinced about it, he stares deeply at me while thinking until he finally speaks. Okay, should save. No, if I do that, more real ones could enter. That would be our end. The well must remain sealed. Even more, I'll order my guardians to redouble the vigilance. The coldness and selfishness of his word leave me out of breath. My face became pale from the incredulity. Okay. It should have been easy, and yet he opted for that. As for you, Gary, you will be arrested until I find a safe way to expulse you from our world. I can't believe what he says. I'm cold. I swear to fear, shocked by everything going on, and how easy he says it. Guards! A couple of puppets with swords answered his call. They appeared behind me so fast it feels like they had been created out of thin air. Take him away. Henry pointed at me with his index finger. The puppets don't dull in grabbing my arms and pulling me away from his presence. It's weird, it seemed that they can't see me now, or maybe they always could and simply decided to ignore me. But after being ordered, they couldn't ignore me anymore. In any case, I have no time to think about it. The surprise, anger, and frustration fill my mind, leaving no room for anything else. I don't even bother to struggle. The arm and the grip is so hard it hurts. They drag me back on the hallway to the exit. Once outside of the castle, they force me to walk to the town. I walk down the stairs for unknown seconds, cursing in my mind during each single of them. I'm not in my best mood. No, I should be. Until finally they open the door of a building that looks about to fall down. I have no other choice but to enter. Okay, now we are in prison. How can be this day more beautiful? Inside there is a big number of cells. You Curiously, some of them have puppets inside of them, remaining perfectly still, as if they were just furniture. Actually, that is exactly what they are. For this prison to serve its purpose, it needs prisoners, even if they are just symbolic. They could open the door and not a single one of them would escape. The puppets open an empty cell and then push me inside, closing instantly with a big key. It's the typical cell used in the fairy tales with iron bars and huge lock. They say nothing before abandoning me there. I don't say a word either. There is no reason to. They clearly can't hear me. The only thing I do is sigh, just before kicking the door out of frustration. Then I rub my face, trying to calm them. Of course, rubbing faces is so calming down. What can I do in this place? I feel completely useless. I'm under the impression that Henry will forget about me the moment I'm out of his sight, and escaping sounds like a very far away dream. The walls are solid and the bars thick. The key is very far away from my reach. Once again, I sigh, feeling my life escape with my breath. I made a mistake. There is actually one thing I can do. I sit in a corner and close my eyes, feeling pity of myself. That's all. It's the only thing I have left. It is really pathetic, but I got nothing. There is nobody here, not a single soul in the person. You are so wrong, Gary. Someone will come and help you and rescue. Maybe the doll or maybe Alice. I have no one to talk or ways to get out or anyone who would come to rescue me. Not even a single thing to do in this empty cell. There isn't even a place to sit other than the floor. It tears my heart just thinking about it, that I will be here forever. No, you will die just from hunger. My real life fears being forgotten in this place. I sigh in silence, feeling sorry for myself, then look up for no other reason than to get comfortable. Suddenly I blink with curiosity. I blink confused when I see something inside the crack. With curiosity, I get closer to it. I stick my fingers inside the crack and pull out a folded paper. My heart beats excited just because this could be the last surprise of my life. I unfold the paper, seeing there is something written on it. Without wasting a second, I start to read it. A written smile. Long time ago, in a faraway kingdom, there was a kid who always smiled. Even when it rained or it was cold, that did not stop him. Everyone around him were envious, but more than anything felt disgust for such a happy kid. Being so happy should be a sin, they thought. That's why every day all the other kids and even the adults bothered him, repeating the same complaints and mocks, and even punishing him for no reason in hopes of ruining his good mood. But none of that bothered him. He was like the sun, shined with his own light, with a warmth that was born from inside him without the need of anyone else. A sun that the moon and all other stars envied for having much more light than all of them together. They wanted to put out his light, darken him to make his life him like themselves. But in the end, all of his efforts were in vain. The more they praised the kid, the more intensely he smiled, shined, so intensely, so warm and comforting, like no other star that could exist. After long years, the kid finally realized something. He did not belong to that place where everyone lived on complaint and gosh. No, he belonged to other place, one high on the sky, very far above them, decided he, one day extending his hands to the sky, looking directly to the sun. Without saying a single word, the light and warmth that accompany him became more and more intense. The white light made it possible to see anything, and the heat melted and transformed the world around him until he found himself in the other world, one where everyone was his friend, one where everyone smiled like him, where everyone thought like him and could live happily forever after. Yeah. Such a boring fairy tale. After reading the story, I sighed, closing my eyes. Then I opened them again with an empty look. I do it just by reflex. There is nothing more to see in the place. The walls are as boring as I imagined. The only slightly interesting thing is to see the patterns, the cracks shape, but the interest quickly dies. I let the time pass meaninglessly, not even bothering to count the seconds. It makes no sense to do it. I just stare at the ground, immobile, as if I was a toy without batteries. Suddenly, I feel a huge desire to cry. I feel awful. It hasn't been even a day, and I already can't stop this place. But I hold it, fearing that if I do it, I'll lose the last sliver of my will. I close my eyes and sigh, trying to imagine something. After long seconds, nothing comes to my mind, at least nothing I haven't thought before. The same questions: where am I? Who is Alice? What will happen to me? Repeat themselves so many times, my head a torrent of answers for them. I knew them all. I finally opened my eyes full of resignation. I feel ashamed of how poor is my imagination. Being like this, I think it will take me less than a week to lose my sanity. 10 minutes passed. And one more week for me to become one of those immobile puppets, lifeless playing affairs for all eternity. It makes no sense, but I can't help but think about it. I blink before tilting my head. I take a breath in silence with my mind blank. And it is then that I see it. My eyes suddenly fix on it, staring at it as if it was something wonderful. I look with surprise and thankful to a simple stone in the floor of the prison. Without doubting, I stand up and pick it up. I put it to my eyes level, looking at it from every angle. There is nothing special about it except for the place I found it. Without knowing why, at that moment I spark lights on my mind. My imagination suddenly wakes, an unstoppable river of inspiration. He took a stone from the floor, and now his imagination woke up. Okay, just okay. All just by looking at the insignificant stone. Acting by pure instinct, I get closer to one of the walls and then drawn a line on it with the stone. Before a white line had appeared, the sound would be accompanied by many others. My hand moves as if nothing could stop and drawing one thing I couldn't take away from my mind. As I draw everything I said before, it turned upside down. I no longer care about the time, nor feel frustrated, even less I'm afraid of losing my mind. It is all the opposite. I'm completely submerged in what I'm doing, never before feeling as lucid as now. My head guides me, doing every stroke as clean as possible, ignoring everything else. Until finally my work is done. It is the picture of a woman of great beauty that I can barely remember. The only thing missing is for me to give it a name. Only one name could be right: Alice. Oh, it is quite pretty. I almost jump surprised when out of nowhere I hear a familiar voice speak. I instantly turn to the direction, finding the masked doll who looks deeply at me. She tilts her head and fakes to laugh in silence. You have talent. I could not draw something like that, no matter how hard I tried. I just don't have what it takes. It's nothing, to be honest. If I had better tools, I could have done a much better work. After saying that, I walk towards her until we are just a step apart, looking at her from behind the bars. What are you doing here? It's not like I'm not thankful to her, but without a doubt, it's weird. I really didn't imagine anyone would remember me. She covers the masked mouth and pretends to laugh. Suddenly a chill runs down my spine. I had forgotten how weird she was. What am I doing? I'm talking to you. She tilts her head and playfully waves her hands. No, if you mean the reason why I'm here, that's because I'm very special. I make an annoyed face. What is this supposed to mean? The masked doll tilts her head again and covers her mouth with one hand, faking curiosity. What is supposed to mean to be special? I narrow my eyes, disgusted by the answer. However, that I start to think about it. You are different, I guess. Usually special is how you call something unique. To be honest, I had never bothered to think what it means. It's a word we use so often without truly understanding it. She then moves her index finger side to side in denial. Incomplete. Special is more than just different. It also has to be something positive, something good. Being unique does not mean you are the best, but being called special is the same as saying you are uniquely good at something. In other words, there is something valuable that only you can do. Being like, isn't pretty to be special? Okay, I said, tired before sighing. She really talks a lot. She's really weird, but the more I hear from her, I can't stop thinking that what makes her special is that she actually has a soul. She's really unique between the puppets. And with all of this, what do you want to tell me? Huh? She exclaimed, confused before scratching her head. Nothing. Actually, it doesn't have any purpose, but I thought it was fun. I said again, annoyed. My mind instantly goes blank. I guess I should have expected something like that. What is strange is that she let her smile. It is stupid. I'm sure most people wouldn't be patient enough for a conversation like that. But there is something that makes it strangely fine, I believe, for the simple fact of being so weird. Well, now that I have heard you, can I ask you a favor? I said with a clear, objective mind. She claps, full of enthusiasm. Of course, it's only fair. Oh, I think so. Could you get me out of here? She tilts her head and thinks about it in silence. Suddenly, I feel as if someone stabbed my heart with an ice knife. I can anticipate something bad. Let you out? My. I guess maybe that is in my power. But don't you think it would be better for you to get out by yourself? My face goes pale when I hear her say that. Okay, I think we should stop at this moment, because it's about 30 minutes of connected hearts, and it's so boring and it is so slow. Even the thing with the kid king, even the thing with the strange doll, it does not, I don't know, doesn't surprise me at all. This novel is rather slow, but I hope the next part will be more interesting and more surprising. Thank you for your watching, and bye bye!